Hello, welcome to my new MMA news series, MMA in 5. This is where I'm going to cover the weekly MMA happenings in 5 minutes. And this is in conjunction with my work with MMA Freak. Since before I did MMA Freak, I was just a regular fan. Now I'm a fan who's writing for a living for MMA Freak. So, the number one thing we are going to cover is probably the biggest thing. That is the recent news that Dominick Cruz pulled out of his UFC 169 title defense against Renan Barão, and he vacated the title because and Barão became the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. So, what does this mean? This means that, well, obviously, Uriah Faber came in, and he is now getting a title shot. I think this title shot is well deserved because he had a spectacular 2013. He went 4-0. I'm gonna be honest. I was someone who thought after his fight with Barão he was done. He was not going to go anywhere. But he proved me wrong, and proved probably a lot of people wrong, because he got back together and he went back to his winning ways, and he was looking great in every single fight. So I think that this would definitely benefit him, and I think he has a legit chance of possibly beating Barão. He's healthy. He came in, even though he's taking the fight on a month's notice. He said that he's coming in shape, so that will definitely be an advantage for him. Barão obviously is, he was already preparing for a fight, so he gets to fight in a rematch with Faber, who he's already fought before. Now, I'm going to explain this more in depth in an article I'll write probably relatively soon, but Cruz is vacating the title. There were a few articles that were bounced around that talked about how if Cruz didn't defend his title and he vacated, that he could automatically come back and go into title contention, which honestly is actually not far from accurate. He could actually come in and be a legitimate contender for the title, which he never really lost. Now, I think that his being injury prone is obviously a problem, because he's gone in and obviously it seems like his body is kind of fragile nowadays, so he's obviously gonna have to work on that. So, that's that, but next Wednesday, the big thing is the UFC Fight Night with Rockhold versus Philippou. And the significance here is that, Rockhold, since, came into the UFC and got whomped by Vitor Belfort, but honestly, Vitor Belfort is not anyone to be ashamed about when it comes to losing, because he is in line for the title. He's probably going to fight Chris Weidman sometime this year. Don't know when. I imagine it'll probably be during the summer, because everything else is set for until then. So the likelihood is I could see him, legitimately giving Weidman a run for his money, but that's beside the point. Rockhold, I do believe, can win this title. He's a top 10 middleweight, but obviously against someone like Vitor Belfort, he needs some octagon time. He needs to get back into the loop of things. He did well in Strikeforce. He was their last middleweight champion, but obviously he needs to adjust to the UFC. He had a hard first fight, so I do think he can win. I made that prediction in my article. I think he can win. I think he can. But this is MMA, anything can happen. So that's that. Short and sweet. So, yeah, subscribe to my channel. I will be putting new videos out every week. Haven't come up with a definite day yet. I'll also be doing Google Hangouts with my colleagues. So, yeah, stay tuned.